Welcome to Trading Lounge and the S&P 500, and on the daily chart here from this wave 4 in light blue here all the way up to wave 5 here in this light wave blue here of primary degree. We're looking for 5 waves of intermediate degree, so we have wave 1 and 2 here, and we've been working through all of wave 3 up to this point here. Once that occurs, the corrective pattern will come into play, and we'll be looking for wave 4 here. The 38.2% retracement level is about down to here, but we'll also seriously be looking at this wave 4 low here as well. So we'll work through that when it occurs. What we're looking for here at the moment within this area here is in terms of the trading levels rather, is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level in 5 waves, and then the ABC correction. So over here, just in simplicity, the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, and then the first high above the level in 5 waves, and then the corrective pattern here. So we're in this 5-wave structure here, and we're looking at being in the last 5 here. So we're very close to a top here. There's splitting hairs on a few ideas, but we're looking for this top to play out here now. So the splitting of the hairs sort of situation is that we've got wave 4 here, and then this would put wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then going up here for wave 5 here, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we're quite close to the end. The only spanner in the works is that this wave 4 could also be here as well, and what that would do, as I've mentioned before, would, once we've got this top into play here, would have a little correction here and have one more push up before rolling over here. So I'm looking at this top here as wave 3 or wave 5. So just to go into this onto I'm just going to cut through to the hourly chart because we've been over it a lot. So on the hourly chart here, we're looking at, well, we've got this wave 3, this wave 4, and we're looking for wave 5 here, of 5, of 5, of 5, and of 3 here. The only spanner in the works, as mentioned, is that we could have wave 3 coming in here, which would play out pretty much as a corrective move here for wave 4, and then moving up into wave 5 here for another 5 waves, and then moving over here. So this, what we'll handle this when we get to it. Once we see it, once we see this folding here downwards, then then we can start looking at it being an impulse wave or a corrective wave, and work with it at that stage. This little move up here is a little bit messy to work with, but when I look at the cash market, we still have another little move up into this space here before rolling over here. So just be mindful of that. If I'm wrong about that, then we'll get a bounce here that will pull back up to the 61.8% mark and then work lower. And you need to also be careful too on the break of the 25.50 area here, because you'd have to wait for the retest for any setup here, and then if that fails, if it fails and moves through the low here, then that's your trigger to have a go against the trend, because that's basically what you're doing, which is a bit of a, which you don't particularly want to fight the trend. So if you're going to fight it, then you need to know that you've got good probability to come out at least breaking even to get it going a little bit. So yeah, we'll see how this sort of pans out. I can't really say much about that than I already have here. The Amazon and the Googles of the world, if I just use Amazon as a bit of a template here, is that this, well, we're getting 5 waves up here, okay? So we've got little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the daily chart here, and we talked about being long here, but the main point here is that if we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming up to here, well then we will wait to see if we get a correction here. So then the next, you want to be exiting. In fact, what I'll do is I'm just going to move that now, and we're going to put that on top here. In fact, we'll put it over here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll get an ABC pattern here. So there is also the possibility that I've got a count wrong down here further, and that will come down through here. So having this set up here will keep us safe here, because this could be an A wave, then a smaller A, B, and C wave here for the B wave, and then down from here. Okay, bringing the wave 4 over here somewhere. So I just want to be careful about the next move in here. So if you are long here, then look to take some profit, you know, somewhere in here as such. And then we just have to wait for this to play out here to give us that setup here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it at that with the S&P 500, because the Russell and the Nasdaq and so on are slightly different. Well, we can look at the Russell. It's got a little further to one more little move to move up there as well. Once again, here we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 5 here, and in this last little move here I can see that this is a wave 4 here, because it's a sideways movement, and I can start counting from here. I can go 1 and 2 and 3, so it's still got 4 and 5 to go here by the looks of it. So a wave 4 and a wave 5 here, much the same as the S&P, and then it should roll over here. But the same thing goes here, as I just mentioned, to Amazon as well, is that if we get a corrective pattern back down here, because this is also group 1 as well, where the 3 is. So if we get a test, you know, if this moves up here and then gives us an ABC correction and doesn't really break, doesn't find the number 2 here as a retested resistance, if it finds it as a resistance here, then we know, you know, and then you've got your trigger here, then we'll know we'll be pulled down to this number. But normally when you're working with 3 here, you'll get a move into 2 here, and then it will make its way back up here. But, you know, we can use that high, and then we can use the second high that comes in here. So this would be the setup over here. But yeah, in the meantime, it's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then should roll down from that point there. So a setup on here. I mean, you know, the Elliott Wave, you know, for me is to help with the direction of things, you know. Then there's the trade setup that goes with that. So I would put a trade set, if I'd seen this setting up here, if I had this as a top here, and then I'd seen this setup here, well then I would take the setup to go long. I'd put the setup before the count, you know. So yeah, there we go. So I'll leave it at that. Alrighty, cheers.